So are you finding yourself at home with your kids for the next 2 or 3 weeks and you're wondering what to do? Hi everyone, I'm Jackie. Welcome to my channel, Enjoying Life's Journey, and we are doing the best that we can right now with the coronavirus that's going on. Today I want to talk about how it is affecting our family personally with the schools being closed, and I'm out of work as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're structuring our days and how you guys can maybe implement some of this in your household to make it a little less stressful for you and your family, and actually to have some fun with it as well. I am going to make a few other videos related to the coronavirus, how it's affecting our family, one financially, and how it's kind of benefiting us, and some things that we've set ourselves up for to take advantage of during that time. So stay tuned for that video if you're interested. So like I mentioned, do not have any school or work for basically 3 weeks. Now this is Wednesday, March 18th when I'm filming this, and the coronavirus has been kind of going around for the last couple weeks or so. So we are fortunate in the fact that we do not rely on my income to pay our everyday bills, and we are fortunate that Ricky is still working. They have not been doing overtime, but they are still working, and so our bills are covered. So I can focus on just being home with my kids over the next couple weeks, and we're fine with it. Like I said, it's the middle of the week. This is my kids' regular spring break, so I would not be working. I do work at the YMCA, and I have 2 jobs. My first position is in the morning. I teach group fitness. I teach Zumba, which is like a dance fitness class, and then I help 2 or 3 days a week. I work the after school program. So this week I would not have been working after school program because we don't have school this week anyway, and I would have just been teaching Zumba. But then we are notified that school was out until April 3rd. Our gym, our YMCA, is going to be closed at least till April 1st. We know that this is all liquid, so things can change from day to day, literally hour to hour. Things are changing, so we have to kind of just play it by ear and be flexible with it. Most likely I will not get paid for the after school program hours that I'll be losing for 2 weeks, but there's a possibility I will still get paid for my Zumba hours. It's still up in the air, so we have to kind of wait and see how that goes. So basically I'm just saying, hey, we're back home. We're going to homeschool a little bit. We're not going to make it too stressful, and we're not going to worry about schooling and learning new things, but we're just going to have fun on some of the things that we would have been doing kind of on a daily basis anyway. My first tip for you is, if you are home with your kids while they're out of school for this, is structure and routine. This is going to save all of you. Kids thrive on routine. They thrive with structure. And so do we as adults, believe it or not. As much as we like to think we want to be spontaneous, we really do work well when we have our routines. So we've just decided we're going to create a new routine for our next 3 weeks. So I included my daughters in the planning process to figure out what was our structure, what was our schedule going to look like, what type of activities were we going to do, and things like that. So the first thing I did was I said, okay, let's make sure that we have some type of physical activity every day. Health and fitness is very important to me, and I know the kids, they usually have recess where they're out running around and jumping around and playing on the slides and all of that stuff, so they need that time to make sure they're having some type of energy release. And so we decided we're going to do 30 minutes of structured or planned physical activity, and then we're going to do 30 minutes of outside free play, no matter what. Today it is raining, so we'll see about the outside thing. So here's just an idea of a little bit of what we're working on, and then I'll get into more detail. So like I said, we're doing 30 minutes of physical activity, so an activity that's planned and something that I participate with the girls. Again, I'm not teaching Zumba, so this is actually good for me to keep something going on as well. So we're doing 30 minutes of that. We're doing 30 minutes of outside play. During the 30 minutes of free play, we've just been doing it in the backyard. They have their bicycles and the balls and sidewalk chalk out there. And then I actually work on reading and studying for my ACE group fitness exam while they're out there. Then we're doing some type of an art thing. So whether that's, the girls have, I'm looking at it right now, these beads, they're like little beads that you put on. It's like super cool. So they've been working on that. We can do painting, drawing, all kinds of stuff. So basically coming up with something that's kind of artsy. Then we've been doing, when we do our lunch, they've been helping me prepare lunch, and we've been making like muffins or cookies. It's easy stuff. We're not baking it from scratch. You know, literally like the dough's already made, you just ball it up and do it, or you just add milk and pour it. You know, it's something easy, but it's something for fun for them to feel like they're doing that. And then we have a few kind of like academic type things that we're doing. And I'll get into that in a second. The other thing we're doing is kind of like music type stuff. So what are we doing? How are we planning it and making it fun and structured, and good, and good, and good. The first thing we did, like I said, was we decided let's for sure have at least 30 minutes of physical activity every single day. So what are we gonna do? So I said, okay, well, we have 3 weeks without school. Normally that's what, 5 days a week that they're in school minimum. Obviously on the weekend we still want to be physical. We're not going to worry about planning it. And so I said, okay, what's 15? I was like, we need 15 physical activities that we can do. So this is what the girls came up with. They had riding bikes, hiking, doing the Zumba class. So obviously I'm not teaching it, but we can still do it here. Speed walking and jogging. That's what they came up with. A body weight type workout, so push-ups and sit-ups and stuff. We'll come up with something. Stretching. A dance party, so just kind of free dancing. Aerobics, like jumping rope and jumping jacks type thing. We put stair climbing. We put at the mall. This is before they were trying to seclude everybody as much, so maybe we'll find some stairs somewhere. I don't know. We said tag in the grass, so like going to the park and playing tag. Doing the monkey bars at the park. Trying geocaching, where you go and you find stuff. So I gotta find an app to do that. Playing soccer, playing catch, and then 15 is blank. They didn't come up with something for 15 yet. So we've already gone hiking, and we've already rode the bikes around. And the next one would be Zumba inside, which is raining outside, so that's actually perfect. We'll be doing Zumba inside here a little bit later. So that's what we planned. And we decided that activity will take place after lunch. We're gonna do lunch, we'll do a little bit of our music activity, and then we're gonna do our physical activity, and then we'll spend another 30 minutes outside. So what is the academic type stuff that we're doing? So I just took a look at what were my kids having to do for homework normally. Well, my oldest is in 3rd grade, and her homework every single day is to read for 20 minutes. My youngest is in kindergarten, and her homework is to read or be read to for 10 minutes every day. So normally, because I'm working and they're kind of together, my oldest has been reading to my youngest. But now, because we're all home, we decided to increase it to 30 minutes. And instead of doing it as an after-school homework assignment, we're doing it at the beginning of our day. So we're doing 30 minutes, and each of us are taking 10 minutes to read. So my youngest starts off, and we find a book that's age appropriate, that's reading level appropriate, and she reads to us, and we have to help her out. Sometimes she doesn't finish the book, that's fine. But the idea is that she gets used to the idea that she can read out loud, and it's okay to learn it and to fumble, and that's okay, and we all listen. And then my oldest reads, and we're actually combining poetry with reading. So she's been reading, it's called Favorite Poems, Old and New. So she reads 10 minutes out of that book. And my youngest, the first day, it took her a little bit to actually want to sit and listen. So I told her, hey, part of reading is not just reading, but it's listening also. So then she'll read her poems, and then we might talk about one of the poems and kind of break it down, because poetry, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So we talk about the poem. Maybe we talk about how the rhythm, if it's rhyming, or the flow of the poem, and stuff like that. We're not going into total details of what type of poem it is and all of that, but we're talking about it. And then I read, we're actually reading a chapter book called The Trumpet of the Swan. So I read for 10 minutes out of that, and then we discuss that. So usually right before I read, I ask them, hey, where did we leave off in the story? What happened yesterday? And they'll say, oh, the swan, he saved a boy, he won a medal. They tell me about that, and then we say, okay, let's read, and we read, and at the end, okay, what happened again? from there, we kind of just do that on the couch, all snuggled up together on the couch, and we read for 30 minutes. And then we just created each of our daughters. I just made a reading. We just have a piece of paper. We just put reading log. We just said reading log, and we put the date and say what they read and then what I read to them. And that way, you know, we'll put it in their folder when they go back to school, and their teacher can see, oh, okay, well, they read while they were on break. And so that's good. Then what we've added to make that a little more fun is then we sit down at the table and they draw a picture about the story. So this is Arcadia's. So you can see she's got the swan in the middle, and then this is where the swan asks for a job, and he ends up leading this swan boat. That's part of the story. So we're just doing each day, they can draw a picture related to the story, or this is the first week, so we're making it fun. And then maybe next week I'll have my oldest actually write out what's going on. And my youngest, I just let her draw whatever she wants. So she's drawing her dinosaurs. But that's what we got so far. So we're on day 3 of this, so we're still gonna do this later. Then I decided, you know, it'd be fun just to practice handwriting, because my oldest, they are learning cursive, and then my youngest, I know some of her homework assignments they've been writing their name in pen and pencil and crayon and all this stuff. So they've just been writing their name, writing my phone number, and then my oldest, I have writing our address. That way they can learn my phone number and the address. I'm not gonna show you that just because you guys don't need to see that personal information. Well, okay. So basically, you know, just on a piece of paper. So that's what we're doing for this week. They're just doing their name and the phone number, and then I'm quizzing my oldest. Okay, what's our address? What's our phone number? And then next week we'll probably move on to handwriting Ricky's phone number, and then something else. If you have any ideas for handwriting, I don't know, put them down below. Then we're doing just basic math. So we're not learning anything new. We're just kind of practicing what we have going on. So my youngest, they're just learning numbers 1 through 100. So this is actually, you know, the 100 chart that we've had from her school. So they have to know how to count by 10s, by 5s, and all of that. So that's what we started with on day 1. She had to write her 1 through 100 counting by 10s, and then I had her do 1 through 20. Today I'll have her do, you know, 20 through 40 or something like that. So we'll practice with that. Once she gets through actually writing them where she knows them because I'm not letting her, she can't look at this form. When she knows them, and I know she knows them, she's writing them all, then we might try some simple addition and stuff with her. My oldest is working on multiplication, so I just have her writing her timetable. So I just had her start with the 2s. So she did the 2s, she did the 3s, and then she'll do the 4s today. Then they have online work that they do. So my oldest has a website that they do. There's a reading portion where there's a few stories that were on there before they had access to it. The teacher said that they didn't have to worry about those, but because we're on break, I said, let's go ahead and do them, because why not? So basically she reads a passage and then she answers some questions, so that we're just setting the timer for 15 minutes and letting her work on that for 15 minutes. And then there's another section where they can do additional math, so they can practice other math problems. And then there's other games related to math. So basically we're just setting the timer for 15 minutes. So Arcadia gets 30 minutes on the computer. While she's on the computer, I work with my youngest on her sight words. So I have a list of her sight words that they're doing in class. So we're just reading through these every day. There's still a handful that she doesn't know. So it's good that we're reviewing them, because she still doesn't know some of them. So we're reviewing sight words every day. And then she had these 2 different homework assignments that we didn't do when they were due, and so now we're doing them. So we're not really coming up with anything new. We're just taking stuff that they were already doing. So this is a nonsense homework. So these are nonsense words. So you set the timer for 1 minute, and she has to either read the word or sound out the sounds depending on where she's at. Right now, she's just at the stage of sounding them out. So the goal with this one is that she can sound out 28 sounds in a minute, and she's at about 36, 33, so she's right where she needs to be for that one. But there's about 10 of these, so I figured 1 a day. And then when they're done, they're done. And then these are segmenting words, which is pretty much the same thing. She has to sound out each sound, but they're actual words. They're not nonsense words. And this one, the goal is to do 51 sounds. So again, she's at like 36, so she has some work to do on that one. So we'll do like one of these every day. There's about 10 of those. So that's as far as what she has from the school that we're just doing anyway. Then I had these that I picked up at the beginning of the school year from the Dollar Tree. And there's just a numbers, there's a morning starter, there's colors and shapes, and then there's letters. So I just have her do one page of each of these. We're just putting the date at the top, having her do that. And then that's her 30 minutes. Like so Arcadia has 30 minutes on the computer, and then my youngest sits and does this for 30 minutes. Then my youngest does have a computer thing that she can do as well. It's just basically books. She can either read it or it can be read to her, and she can answer questions or she cannot answer questions. She earns points and little medals and things like that on there. And then there's videos. So I just set the timer for her for 15 minutes. So my youngest is on the computer for 15 minutes doing a little more reading type stuff. And then my oldest, I have a whole book full of crossword puzzles. So she just works on some crossword puzzles while she's doing that. And that's the equivalent, that's our school or our academic portion. And so it's just basically a half hour of reading, a little bit of handwriting and drawing, and then roughly a half hour of some other, maybe like 45 minutes of some other work. And then that's pretty much it for that. And then by that point, we start making lunch. So the girls help me make lunch, whether we're making cheese quesadillas or sandwiches, something easy. And then we all eat together. And then again, we make like the little cookies, or I bought a bunch of those little packs of the muffins. And so you just add milk, and then it's so easy to make. So we've been doing that. So you have a little bit of baking and cooking in, and we enjoy our meal. Then we do a little bit of music. So what are we doing for music? So the girls have tablets. On their tablets, there's an app. It's like a keyboard app. So they can learn songs. So you can pick a song, and then you can say whether it's a guitar or drums or whatever, and then it shows you, it lights up the keys on keyboard. So I have them do that for a little while. So they're kind of just practicing and getting a feel of listening to how the sounds work on that. And then we've just been looking on YouTube for sing-along songs. So we found a lot of that K-pop, or that's how you say it. And they have a lot of like the current songs that are like sing-alongs. And so we'll do like 4 songs, and we'll just sing along in the living room and have fun with it. So that's our music. And then my oldest did get a guitar from my dad for Christmas. So she has a CD that came with the guitar. So next week, so this week we're just kind of doing the piano sing-along stuff, and then next week Arcadia and I are actually going to sit down and see if we can get her started on the guitar lessons, which that would be fun. So that's kind of like our academic type stuff, and then our music stuff. Then we do our physical activity, like I said. So depending on what it is, we either are going to do it inside or outside. And then we do the 30 minutes in the backyard. So again, today it's raining, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping by the end of a little bit later it clears up, so we can at least do something outside. We may not be able to go in the backyard. It might be too muddy, but maybe we can go up front. But we are doing our little Zumba class today. And so I've just been checking them off. Let me check yesterday's off. So I've just been checking them off for each day that we do it. And then when that's done, we go ahead and set up our art project. So if they're going to do their beads, sometimes we've been setting the beads up outside. We have a table out there, or they do them here at this table in the kitchen. And then at that time, I usually kind of get another snack going. And then I will sit with them and do art stuff with them for 30 minutes. And then at that time, I'm done being teacher. I'm done being there. So it's from that time, it's been almost 4 hours that we've spent totally immersed together, doing some fun things, doing some learning things, being together as a family. And so then at that point, they can continue to work on the art thing if they want to. Usually they keep working on it because they're having fun. But at this time, then I can say, okay, I'm done. I need to go do my household duties, maybe do some of my own reading, own studying. I can, work on the computer, do whatever it is that I want to do. And then they then at that point, they're free to do whatever. So they can continue to work on that. They can get on their tablets. They can watch TV. At that point, I don't care. We did have one of Arcadia's friends come over yesterday. So, you know, we're still trying to stay somewhat normal. So that's kind of like the time frame. So what time are we doing it? Basically, we're starting at 8, which is roughly what time they'd start school. And then we're done by like 12. So 8 to 12 is like our school time. But if you notice, we have lunch, we have free play, we have physical activity, we have art stuff. We have a lot of stuff going on. So it doesn't feel like school. And again, I'm not teaching them anything really new. We're just kind of just doing what we know. So it's been going really good so far. Obviously, it's only day 3, so you know, we'll see how it goes. But that's the plan, just to kind of to do that, because we have enough stuff for them to do a little bit every day. The other thing that's changed with our routine is now we're just letting them stay up a half hour later. So we didn't make it huge, like, oh, it's spring break, or oh, we have all this vacation time now because of the it's not a quarantine, but it's kind of like a social distancing that we're doing. But basically, we're letting them stay up a half hour later. We're not using alarms to wake up in the morning. We're just kind of waking up when we wake up. The girls usually wake up between 6 and 7 in the morning anyway, so that's fine. So basically, we just kind of wake up. They do have to get themselves ready as if we had a school day. So they brush their hair, they wash their face, their hands, brush their teeth, get dressed, and then they're ready for the day before they come in here and start getting food or getting on the TV. And then I get up, I get myself ready, I do my regular morning routine of making my bed and putting the dishes away, and then we start the day. Today I decided I wanted to film first, just so I could, you know, get what's on my mind out. So I'm going to film a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and do the activities that we've set out to do. And then, like I said, basically from 12 to the rest of the night, they have free play to do whatever they want. But I feel good that we've done some type of structure, that we've had some type of a routine. So it's not just all day free for all. And that is really working. And it is nice to actually just sit and eat with them. It feels good to have them home right now. So I'm soaking it up. I'm enjoying it while we can. I'm trying not to stress about it. Like I mentioned, it is going to affect our budget. It is going to affect us financially. And so I'm going to share that in another video and kind of touch base on what I've heard that the government plans on doing and what is my company doing for us and things like that. So let me know down in the comments below. Are you home with your kids? Are you home because their school's been closed? Are you working or not working? Let me know what's going on. Let me know what fun activities you guys have planned while you are home. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay safe and clean out there. I'll see you later. Bye.